Hey guys, good morning. So today we are going to talk about the juice clarification, that is the sugarcane juice clarification. So before starting that, let us discuss something about the sugarcane. What is the sugarcane? So sugarcane you could have seen in the field. It is like just like a stick having many kind of that lines, that line and stalks. It is having that one leaf and all it is having. So let us talk about sugarcane. The sugarcane, with its high fiber and carbohydrate content, constitutes an important renewable source of energy. During its long growth period of 10 to 16 months, this plant converts good amount of solar energy into sugar and cellulose and is considered to be one of the most energy efficient crops in that the energy provided by the biomass of fully grained cane is 4 times the energy input during the crop cultivation. Sugarcane sets are planted in the soil and the plant develops growth in the course of its cycle, during which it converts water and CO2 from atmosphere into carbohydrates. In the presence of sunshine, I think you would have known what is this process. This process is nothing but the photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. Okay, we'll go next. In the growth phase of the further while growing in the further, the sugar accumulation occurs more in the lower portion of the stalk, progressively decreasing from bottom to top joints, but in a fully mature cane this disparity is practically absent or negligible. Within the stalk, the internodes are richer in sugar while the fiber content is higher in the nodes, as shown by the earlier studies. Whatever the studies has been happening by the scientists, different kind of scientists or sugar technologists, they would have find that when the that internodes are shorter in size, so that time the fiber content will be more. If the internodes are longer, then sugar content will be more. So depend this difference is composition. Actually, why this happening, no, this difference is composition accounts for the two observation. The first one, a cane with short internodes, as I told, a cane with short internodes will give high fiber and lower sugar content. The juice expressed in the last mill under heavy pressure is of lower purity than the first of second. So generally, what is have a cane? What is having is, actually the cane can be divided in three parts. The first one is the leaf, that is the top portion. The second one is that tops, and the last one is the stalk. That is Hindi. In Hindi, you can say is tana. So based on the different climatic condition and all, sugarcane composition falls under the following. As you can see, depending on the climatic condition, soil condition, cane mature, etc., the sugarcane composition falls under the following. As the water will be around 70 to 75%. The sucrose will be around, you can say, some in the some places it is going up to 14, 15, 12 to 15, or up to 18 also. As the primary juice will have, it is more. So this will be the composition of the cane juice. Then we'll go for sucrose and other carbohydrates. As you can see, the reducing sugar, it falls under 0.3 to 3%. Organic matters other than sugar, 0.5 to 1%. What is an organic acid? Organic matters. Organic matters is nothing but the proteins, pantothens, pectins, waxes, whatever all present at organic matters. Second one is, it will come under inorganic compounds, that is 0.2 to 0.6%. Nitrogenous compound 0.5 to 1%. Purity 79 to 85%, and the pH of that juice will be 4.8 to 5.5 units. What is the purity? Purity is the part of the sugar, part of the sucrose present in the entire solids. Means entire concentration, how much the solids are present in the cane juice and how much sugar is the present. So that part of the sugar which is contained in the entire dissolved solids is known as the purity. So now we'll go for what is happening in the clarification. There will be these are some few steps will be there. As you can see, this is the screen juice we are telling. Some places it is called as a mixed juice also. So this will be the first step, that juice extracted from the mill. This will be screen juice or mixed juice, whatever name is there in the different kind of different factories. Some places they are calling as mixed juice, some places screen juice. So this will be the screen juice. Next, this juice will go for the clarification in the boiling house. So there will be two stage heating and chemical addition will be there. So stage 1 heating will be there up to 70 to 72 degrees Celsius. 70 to 72 degrees Celsius will be there. Then after, the addition of the chemicals will take place. If see, I have mentioned here the defecation plant. In the defecation plant, only milk of lime will be added for getting this pH 7.2 to 7.4, and second stage heating will be there up to 1 or 2 to 1 or 2 degrees Celsius, and then after flocculant addition will be there, and that juice will go to the settler via a flash tank. So then from here we'll get the clear juice, and muddy juice will be go to diffuser. This is the then suppose if it is a sulfidation plant, then what will happen, this juice will go for the first heating, and here lime addition will be there. After that, here sulfur dioxide gas, that SO2 will be added. So SO2 addition will be there either in simultaneously with lime, or that lime will added before the gas. If lime is added before the gas, that is called a shock liming, because in the stream line, that whatever the juice line is there, in that only directly that lime will be suddenly it is given as the shock. So that two three kinds of there is there for chemical addition. So this is general flow diagram for cane juice clarification. Now we'll discuss about the stage 1. So if we are heating up to 72 72 degrees, then what will happen? Why we have to heat up to 70 to 72 degrees? The first one is increases the rate of reactions. And the further slide you will see what is the reactions is happening. You can see this is the reaction will be there. So this reaction will take place at 70 to 72 degrees Celsius. So this reaction, for that some certain temperature is required. If we are going overheating or lesser heating, then the reaction will take place very slower. Okay. So and next what will happen, at that temperature protein gets denatured and saturated, means it will get precipitated easily. Third one is panthoceans get precipitated. Then it reduces the chances of leuconostoc to develop in the cold lining. What is the leuconostoc missing? Actually, its name as a leuconostoc mesenterides. If it present in the juice, then it will form the dextran. The dextran is nothing but the polymer of glucose. So if it is there, then it will reduces the whatever the sugar content in the juice. It will just polymerize into dextran, and the sugar it will go, it is just like a gummy substance. It will go in the heaters or anywhere, any heat exchangers, and it will choke the tube and lines, and many problems will come. So anybody want to avoid it. So fifth will be the albumin and gelatin get dehydrated, denatured and coagulated. Next will be the P2O5, that is phosphoric pentaxide, forms a thick precipitate and attract the suspended impurities. Up to this temperature, the precipitation of phosphoric pentaxide, that will be very good, and it will absorb the impurities whatever suspended in there. Then up to 72 degrees, this is the most important thing which is happening, sucrose inversion, which will this loss will be minimum at that 72 degrees Celsius temperature, and the reaction time will be lesser as the reaction is happening as we are heating up to certain degrees temperature. So the reaction will be faster, and the rate of reaction and the retention will be lesser. This is a juice defecator, as you can mention here juice sulfider also. Design will be same. Only in the sulfidation, what will happen? One extra gas line will be here. For sulfur dioxide. So since this is a defecation plant, so sulfur dioxide gas has been removed. But If if we talk about the juice sulfitor, then this defecator only we have to remove here, that sulfitor we have to write here, and one gas line we have to give here. So this will lime addition and then gas. If in this line only, if here we are adding, then this is and sulfur dioxide gas is here, then this process will be called as shock pH. If this gas is here and the lime will be here, means they are just maximum 1 second difference by their application, then that will be known as a simultaneous chemical addition, simultaneous liming. So these are the reactions as earlier I have told you. So next we'll go for the next. This is the TCP is the main, and TCP, that is called as tricalcium phosphate. This is the most important precipitate which absorbs maximum impurities, suspended impurities up to it on its surface, and that forms a thick precipitate. And this is the second one, that's calcium sulfite. In this calcium sulfide will be major in sulfitation. Now second, we'll come to second stage, heating. So we are going in after sulfitation or defecation, we have to heat up to 1 or 2 to 1 or 3 degrees Celsius. The reasons are that this air eliminates the air bubbles from juice and decreases viscosity and density, and then it will allow the faster settling of the juice, that is faster settling of the muddy juice, whatever the mud already precipitates had been formed. And one more thing is there, after actually what happened after this 1 or 2 1 or 3 degrees Celsius heating, those precipitates are getting compacted, but that is not fully compact, so we have to add another chemical that is called a flocculant. That flocculant we are adding here, you can see, I'll show you. The flocculant will be added in the feed line here. Here any addition will be there. In the feed line, here only we have to add the flocculant, so that whatever will be the precipitate that had been precipitated, that flocculant will form a surface, and it will collect that suspension and form a heavy particle, and that will get settled easily. So this will allow faster settling and absorption on PPT. Fourth one is the Fe2O3 and Al2O3 precipitation, that will precipitate as an hydroxides. Waxes and lipids get absorbed with precipitation of inorganic non-sugars. Pectins get coagulated as calcium pectate and precipitated out. Up to 1 or 3 degrees Celsius, the destruction of reducing sugar is minimum. What is the destruction of reducing sugars? So first one, let us discuss what is the reducing sugars. The glucose and fructose, they are called as reducing sugars. What is happening? They reacts with this. If we are hitting more at high temperature and high pH, what will happen? The destruction means that glucose and fructose will decomposed into smaller acids, and sugar loss will be there. So at that temperature, that 103 up to 103 degrees Celsius, that loss will be minimum. And the last point was that humic acid will be removed. Otherwise, if it is present, then the TCP of sugar will increase. This is the short sometime clarifier. Many kind of clarifier are present in the market and even in the factories. So this is really what will happen. Here juice will be passed and juice will go bottom. So here separation will be occur. You can see here separation is occurring. Here separation is occurring, and this bottom line is this line. This line is a mud zone, and here mud will removed, and this clear juice will be come out. So thank you. Sorry.